Ramirez, and in this segment, we're going to be learning about motion. And motion is simply, how does an object move? So before we get started talking about motion, I have an animal friend, and she's going to help us learn about how an animal moves. So I'm going to give you some clues to who my animal is, and then I'll let you guys guess. This animal friend has no legs, but she is still able to move in a variety of ways. So she can slither around, she can move up things, and she can also go down things. She is very unique in that this type of animal can actually smell using their tongue. She also likes to eat meat, so she's a type of animal called a carnivore, and she has a very long backbone. So if you guys were to take 2 fingers and touch the back of your neck, the bone that goes from your neck all the way down your back is your backbone. So this animal has a long backbone. Again, the biggest clue is she has no legs. So go ahead and make your guess who this animal is, and then we'll go ahead and meet her. And if you guys said a snake, you would be correct. This is Pelota. She's a ball python snake. See how she moves her tongue up and down to help her smell. Now, even though she doesn't have legs, she can still move around. And you can see she has scales on her body. So I'm going to go ahead and put our snake friend up, and we're going to look at some examples of how things can move. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a brain break. We're going to see if your brain can do 2 motions at once. So I want you guys to take your left hand, and the way that I remember left is your left hand makes the letter L. So take your left hand, put it on top of your head, and move it up and down, up and down. Take your right hand, the other hand that you have left, put it on your stomach and make it in a circular path. So make a circle. Now we're going to try and do those 2 things at the same time. So this is kind of hard for your brain to do sometimes because you're asking your brain to do 2 different things, but see if you guys can figure that out. And it gets even harder if you try and do it faster and faster. So that's just a little brain break. Our body is in motion. Now let's talk about some describing words for motion. The first word we're going to talk about is trajectory. Trajectory is just the path an object is taking as it's moving. So let's look at some examples of trajectory. The first is a straight line. So if you take your arm and make it nice and straight, this is straight line. Can you guys name some animals or objects that might move in a straight line? Now, the thing that comes to my mind is when you guys are in the hallway and your teacher tells you, walk in a straight line. So that would be a good example of a straight line. The next way an object can move is zigzag. So if you take your hand and you do this motion, this is zigzag. So can you guys think of some things that might move in a zigzag? Our next motion is wavy. So if you take your hand and do this motion, can you guys think of some objects or animals that might move in a wavy trajectory? The thing that comes to my mind, if you ever go to the ocean, you might see the water waves. They get the name waves because they have a wavy motion. Our next trajectory word is circular. So if you take your finger and make circles in the air, this is a circular path. So can you guys think of some objects that might go in a circular motion? We just had the state fair recently. So if you guys went on the Ferris wheel, that is an object that goes in a circular motion. So that's circular. The next word we're going to take a look at deals with direction. So direction tells us where is something moving or what direction is it pointing. So let's look at some direction words. The first 2 words we have are up, and the other word we have is down. So the science word for up is ascend. The science word for down is descend. So if your teacher allows you, go ahead and stand up, and we're going to practice some of these words. We're going to put our body in motion. So first we're going to practice up. Remember the science word for up is ascend. So we're going to stand up on our tippy toes, and now we're going to go down or descend. So now let's come back up, ascend, and go back down, descend. So ascend, descend. And those words just mean to go up and to go down. Other direction words would be round and round. So can you guys think of some things that might go around and around? If you guys are standing, see if you guys can walk around and around in a circle. And if you go around and around too many times, you might feel dizzy. So think of a carousel that goes around and around at the fair. Our next direction word is back and forth. So if you take your hand and you go back and forth, this is back and forth. You can also go front to back, front to back. So if you're standing, feel free to walk forward and then walk backwards. So walk forward and then walk backwards. And again, that is back and forth. Our next word deals with speed. Speed tells us how fast or how slow something is moving. So our first speed word is fast. So can you guys think of some objects that might be super fast? I'm probably thinking of a really fast car. So if you guys are standing, see if you can run really fast in place. So this is fast. What's the opposite of fast? Hopefully you guys said slow. So can you guys think of some toys or animals that might be slow? And if you guys are standing, let's practice. Run in place really fast. Now walk really slow like a turtle. Now run really fast and then walk really slow like a turtle. So those are some motion words, and you guys can go ahead and take a seat again. So now I'm actually going to show you some toys, and I want you guys to describe how they move. So use some of those motion words. So my first one is our slinky friend. And again, teachers, feel free to pause the video to allow time for kids to discuss. But how could we describe the motion of the slinky? So the slinky is moving back and forth. It's moving back and forth, side to side, and back and forth, up and down. So this is horizontal. This is vertical, up and down. Now I'm going to show you some of my other toys and be thinking about how can we describe their motion. Now, do you think this toy is fast or slow? And I think he's actually pretty slow. He was going in a straight line until he turned directions. My next toy is this top. See if you can describe its motion. I think it's going super fast, and it's also going in a circle round and round. I have another spinny top. Again, look at its motion. Ooh, that top went super fast, and it kind of went all over the place. So we have our spinning top going really fast, and then we have the little metal snake that was moving side to side. My next one is a toy car, and it went super fast in a straight line. My next one is this little top. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but we'll see if it'll do it for us. This little top is supposed to jump in the air, so it went up in the air, and then it came back down. And my next little toy I want to show you guys is called Newton's Cradle. It's this thing right here. So I'm going to take this little ball. I'm going to make it go high in the air. I'm going to drop it. It's going to hit the other balls, and it's going to swing back and forth, sort of like a swing on the playground. So this is back and forth motion. And then the last thing I have for you guys is just a little challenge for y'all. All you need is just a piece of paper. You can see if you can fold it into an airplane, and then you and your friends can throw them in the classroom and see if you can describe its motion. So is your airplane fast or slow? Is it going in a straight line, or did it go in a wavy line? So see if you guys can describe how your paper airplane is moving.